Mario. But in space, who could have guessed such an absurd idea could lead to two of the best Mario platformers out there? But more so than the mushrooms or motion controls, the most iconic element would have to be the fantastic and creative level design, the Super Mario Galaxies.
Did somebody say top 20 Super Mario Galaxies?
What? No?
But if I don't interrupt you during a forced intro skit, how will the audience know that it's a collab video, that I'm in it, and that it's a two-part top 20 countdown across both channels featuring our favourite galaxies from Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2?
I think you... Never mind. Let's do this.
Number 20.
Supermassive Galaxy is exactly what it says in the name of the level. Everything is big. Big Goombas, big Wigglers, big Infinite 1-up cheats. That sound, it's just euphoric.
It's reminiscent of half of Mario 64's Tiny Huge World or Mario 3's inspiringly named Big Island, but much bigger. Instead of obstacles and enemies simply being harder to manage, their functions entirely change. You'll be wall jumping on coins and leaping across star chips. Pipes become their own obstacle courses, and thwomps become mountains to climb.
It's lower on the list because it's pretty short. We've already practically been through every part of the first mission, and the second and third stars just involve doing the same thing timed, and a secret mission finding that flowery planet Nintendo used to show off pretty graphics in the sequel at E3. 4 out of 10, not enough bigness. I mean, for Supermassive Galaxy, everything's too small. No, I mean, not enough bigness.
Short yet sweet, huge yet cozy. This stage is a non-stop thrill ride, and a great start to our list today.
Number 19.
Given how infamous the Wii has become for games shoehorning unresponsive motion controls to fake originality, making the 3 hardest stages in the first Super Mario Galaxy game entirely reliant on shoehorned motion controls was a ballsy move. But somehow, against all odds, they don't suck.
The Planet of Trials galaxies include Bubble Blast Galaxy, which is mediocre, Loop-de-Swoop Galaxy, which can be fun, and the most varied and difficult in our 19th favorite level across the 2 titles, Rolling Gizmo Galaxy. Say what you like about the capabilities of the Wii, its gyrometer was alright, and so while it struggles with one-on-one sword combat, controlling a giant orb rolling around Super Monkey Ball style, it kind of works, making Rolling Gizmo's twists and jumps a truly satisfying challenge and easily the best of the 4 Star Ball galaxies.
The theming is a little out there, combining colourful gears, dice, and environmentalism, but you won't have time to notice, as hot damn, this level is easily one of the hardest. Purple coins in the bone pen eat your goddamn heart out, navigating paper-thin strips of Bob-omb and Goomba-filled pathways where the MLG SMG gameplay is at, yo, and is largely why this galaxy is so fun.
Number 18.
Super Mario Galaxy is a pretty hectic game. You've got fire and ghost and this affront to all God considers holy, but when this all gets too much, you just kick it and chill out in Beach Bowl Galaxy.
The music, the clear water, the penguins. It's a nice place to be and for all your worries to melt away. Combine that with Mario Galaxy's silky smooth swimming controls and you have this world that is just fun to explore, something that's not that prevalent in modern Mario games.
And given how catheric the main area is to explore, Beach Bowl delivers one of the most satisfying and least forced purple coin stars simply through allowing appreciation of all the extra details given that wouldn't otherwise be noticed. But that being said, there's far more going on than just a pool to swim in and a mountain to climb. Here introduces the Ice Flower and reintroduces the Cataquacks, which now become more than just a nuisance, and the secret mission on the Cyclone Stone was good enough to be made into its own galaxy in the sequel.
And to top off all of that, extra points have to be given to how the whole structure is just based off a bad pun on beach ball. Beach ball, get a beach, put it in a bowl, Beach Bowl Galaxy. Flawless design.
Number 17.
Puzzle Plank Galaxy has got a lot of wood.
Straight away, I know what you're thinking, and we might as well get all the erection jokes out early.
No one was thinking that. Okay, well, maybe someone was, but why did you even bring it up?
Oh. I don't know.
Saws, country music, and a hell of a lot of workplace injuries. Puzzle Plant Galaxy acts not only as a homage to Super Mario World's iconic sky-sawing levels, but also as one of the most energetic and entertaining galaxies out there. Every planet and surface is made of wood, with the areas being a mix of polished book puzzles and some kind of flying, disintegrating space workshop complete with saws, bugs, and falling platforms.
The secret mission sees a remake of one of Galaxy 1's best bosses, Bugaboom, for which Cloudsuit included there are about half a dozen different methods of killing. In fact, the inclusion of Mandybugs, Wigglers, and the boss of Bugaboom makes this kind of a spiritual successor to Galaxy 1's Honeyhive Galaxy, which is pretty dark when you think about what that implies.
But cutesy yet powerful reflections on the impacts of deforestation aside, this is one of the happiest and just most fun levels in the second game, with some of the very best music.
Number 16.
Freeze Flame Galaxy capturing both fire and ice was a really original concept, well executed and with enjoyable levels. Shiverburn Galaxy from the second game is far less iconic, lacking the punch of being the first to do it.
But then you remember that combining fire and ice isn't actually that original, and Shiverburn Galaxy covered the concept much better, so we'll just go with that one, thank you and good night.
Fire and ice and fire. Fire on fire, that becomes ice. Shiverburn's got it all, and manages to condense all gimmicks and concepts into a pretty short level. It really feels like the level Freeze Flame Galaxy was trying to be, and manages to not waste any time in doing so. Extra props should also be given to the boss, Prince Picante, which uses fire hazards and ice hazards in the projectiles fired and surface to skate over.
Extra practice shredding Dad Ice Court can also be found in the Octo Army Icy Rainbow Romp and minigame challenging the chimp in defeating Gummit monsters while timed. Quite how much of this galaxy is taken up by skating sections would be a negative, but the mechanic is honestly so smooth and satisfying, we struggle to care that much.
And finally, this stage cannot be discussed without mention of the incredibly creepy figures watching you throughout, known only by their file names, Beyond Hell Valley and Hell Valley Sky Tree. Not much is known about their origins or to what Hell Valley refers to, but these things are just creepy and add some extra character to an already atmospheric stage.
Number 15.
The Honeyhive feels like it was designed in a similar vein to stages from 64 and Sunshine. It's very big and open to exploration, and was designed with twice as many missions as any other galaxy in the game, in that they clearly just split their ideas for levels into two galaxies, with all the boring missions going to Honeyhive Galaxy and the later fun and creative ones going to Gold Leaf. Plus it's autumn themed, so it's prettier, which is good enough justification for me.
Although the starting planet is just a recolored Honeyhive, also mirrored as if Nintendo assumed we wouldn't notice, but all the missions and other planets are original. The Bee-Suit sees more action, as do the Cataquacks, which you use to propel you into the gravity of other planets, and the Undergrunt Gunner, a thoroughly okay boss. Round that off with a star for blowing bubbles and the most fun Cosmic Mario race, and you have a really varied and enjoyable stage.
The galaxy incorporates more of a wooden aesthetic, again with a deforestation subtext, and the whole thing looks very pretty, and not just because I like autumn. Gold Leaf loses points for originality, but gains many more for its excellent content and challenges. The leaves may have fallen, but our spirits didn't, playing this one.
You're seriously going with?
Yes, I'm leaving that in.
Number 14.
Bowser Jr.'s Boom Bunker is a pretty so-so level. Kinda nice how the starting planet shows debris directly following on from the last Bowser Jr. encounter, and how you need to use the barely functioning machinery to progress in the level. And it isn't said nearly enough that the background music for Galaxy 2's Bowser Jr. levels is some of the best in the franchise. But this is really on here for just one reason: the bomb-ass baller Boom Bunker boss, which is single-handedly good enough to warrant earning a place on our countdown.
Phase 1 sees you using the Cloudsuit to gain enough height to jump over the tower and ground pound on the cockpit, avoiding projectiles, and after a couple hits, the tower grows tracks and the battle becomes much harder with more projectiles in dealing with a now moving target. Scaling and destroying such a giant foe gives an almost Shadow of the Colossus vibe, and this one, unlike some of the other giant mechanical Mario Galaxy bosses, feels as satisfying to take down as it looks.
But given this is a list on the whole galaxies, we can also give credit to the fun canon green stars and that groovy dark matter segment. But the pièce de résistance and primary justification for its placement is the boss fight, for which we must say again is just fantastic, and makes Bowser Jr.'s Boom Bunker more than worthy for this list.
Number 13.
Unlike power-ups such as the Blimp Fruit or Cloud Flower, which feel immediately useful in a variety of situations, the Bulbberry very much requires levels to be designed with it in mind. But if those levels involve hidden cookie corridors and unwrapping endless chocolate bars, we don't tend to mind as much.
The edible theming doesn't add much to the gameplay, but makes the experience infinitely more charming, as all the platforms the Bulbberry reveals are cookies and sweet treats, and for all platforms you can see anyway, the Bulbberry allows you to see beneath the wrapping or packaging. I also love the background, which for this world is littered with various completely inexplicably giant sweet snacks.
It's the little things.
The structure and challenges are also decent, and it finds many ways of making leaps of faith more interesting, but the joy of this level is definitely in the presentation. The incredibly serene music and mouth-watering visuals make this an oddly spiritual experience. This mystery is pretty sweet.
Number 12.
Mario games have this wondrous ability to make the most mundane situations and locations an utter delight to play through. Take Flipsville Galaxy, where the theming takes on a collection of houses, throws in some crazy gravity flipping and drilling mechanics, and we have one of the game's most creative levels.
Changes in gravity are nothing new to these games, but mostly in 2D areas, which makes this a real breath of fresh air. Flipsville forces players to switch their perspective multiple times throughout to solve each mission's unique puzzles. Firstly through ground-poundable tiles, and then through the game's best use of the spin drill power-up in terms of problem solving in both the second mission and the purple coin drill maze, where the time limit forces planning your moves steps ahead, which makes getting the start incredibly rewarding.
Glamdozer is your standard boss, albeit very satisfying to get hits on, and that is pretty much everything to talk about in Flipsville Galaxy. It's essentially just a bunch of gravity puzzles tied together by two common mechanics and the visuals of some suburban neighborhood. Fun while it lasts, we only wish there was more to it, and more of it. Also, that f***ing third green star could just go to
Number 11.
And what a fitting way to end part 1 of our collab than with the very first opening level from the first game, Gateway Galaxy. In being far more than just some generic tutorial, the Gateway sets the tone of the game as something that's charming, gorgeous, and fun.
The music alone is more pretty than a garden centre in a tornado, and making the first parts of proper gameplay chasing bunnies was a really cute way to establish what kind of game this is. The Mario 64 reference is appreciated, but the way in which you need to use the curvature of the planet itself to cut corners to catch the bunnies is just brilliant. A really subtle way of introducing new players to the mechanic without them even noticing.
After that, you meet Space Waifu, and the game starts proper with you being given the spin attack, and then being able to introduce black holes, star chips, keys, blue panels, and various enemies. It breaks you into the more gamey side of the game rather well without ever losing the identity formed at the very start, and although the level is very easy and seems almost more like a tutorial than first stage, it does go by quick enough to not be too bothersome.
The first Galaxy, but more so than that, the first mini-planet was always going to be an important event, and Gateway Galaxy makes sure it's memorable for all the right reasons. Being one of the most tranquil and mesmerising events in Super Mario history, with music that justified Nintendo paying for an orchestra a mere 15 minutes into the game. Quality stuff. Thanks for watching the whole video. Oh wait, no you didn't. Click here to see part 2 on my channel as we roll through our top 10 Mario Galaxies. It's fun, I promise.